Hey guys, Mr. Cooney here again, two videos in one day, and I'm going to talk through the rest of, not quite the rest, I'm going to hold off on talking about opening and closing devices, but through most of the rest of the process of getting this outline assignment done. Okay, so when we left off before, we had put together a thesis, right? I've got that right here, right? People misunderstanding mask usage is the way I'm expressing my overall idea. I'm saying that's a huge problem. And then I have my three main supporting points because many don't understand their purpose, how to wear them, or their limitations. I see that as the three ways that people misunderstanding mask usage is a problem. Okay. So the next step was I've written this thesis based on the information that I have. I'm not just making it up, okay? Because I got to write something that I know that I can support with evidence, right? So many don't understand their purpose, okay? The two quotes that I had to kind of support that are they provide a barrier that keeps respiratory drops from spreading, and wearing a mask helps protect those around you in case you're infected but not showing symptoms. Second part of my blueprint is how to wear them, right? So in my second body paragraph, I've put those two quotes that I knew I had in there. Have two or more layers of washable, breathable fabric and fit snugly against the sides of your face and don't have gaps. Okay, so putting the quotes in first is the easiest way to do that. So the third one was or their limitations. Now I had highlighted those in green and they actually came from two different sources, which is fine. Okay, so one was this one. I'm gonna highlight that. Remember, this is from our original notes that we took. I'm going to put that in there. And then my other green one, doesn't really matter which order they're in. Highlight that, copy that, and put that one in here. Okay, so our outline's kind of coming together here. We got that thesis and we have two quotes for each body paragraph, right? Okay, so next what we want to do is figure out, all right, for each one of these body paragraphs, how do we write a topic sentence, and then how do we kind of introduce our first point, and then after the quote, give some commentary on it. All right, so let's kind of work through that. So the topic sentence for this is really just reiterating the first part of your blueprint thesis. So the first part was, again, about understanding their purpose, right? So just something straightforward like many people do not understand the purpose of masks, right? Okay. And now within that, we have these two quotes, right? For each one, we're going to introduce the point, give the quote, and comment on it. So for the first point, how are we going to introduce this quote here? They provide a barrier that keeps respiratory droplets from spreading. Something like, masks can block germs, say, right? And that can lead into, all right, here's a quote supporting that. They provide a barrier that keeps respiratory droplets from spreading. Now, eventually, we're going to need to put something in parentheses here after this quote, right? And where that came from. I'm going to put those parentheses there to remind myself. But now we need to comment on it, right? We'll get back to documenting our sources. In general, what you want to do, this shows let's see, how am I gonna, I'm thinking out loud here. I'm gonna pause for a second and make sure I decide how I'm gonna do this, and then I'll come back so I don't waste your time. There we go. Okay, I'm back. So I want to just not waste your time and formulate that sentence and then come back. So I said people not understanding this purpose might make them reluctant to wear masks. And obviously that's the point, right? Okay, now we start our second point in this body paragraph. Maybe a little transition here, right? Additionally, self. Okay, now I'm putting it that way because what they really do helps protect those around you in case you are infected but not showing symptoms, right? Now, a lot of people don't want to admit to themselves, right, that I might be carrying it. I might not have symptoms, but I might be carrying it. But a mask, one of the best things about a mask, really what it does more than anything, is make sure that you don't spread it to anybody else, because you might be carrying COVID and you might not know it. And a lot of people don't want to face that, right? Okay, so then we've got our quote, right? Wearing a mask helps protect those around you in case you're infected but not showing symptoms. And I'm going to pause the recording again and think about how I'm going to write this and then come right back. Okay, I haven't written it yet, but I kind of decided. So the way I want to put this is if accepted and realized to themselves possibly infecting others, the spread could be slowed. Okay. See, it's persuasive, right? The commentary, right? You're making an argument. So we got our body paragraph here, right? This whole body paragraph is proving the first of 3 supporting points in your thesis, right? And many don't understand their purpose. Many people do not understand the purpose of wearing masks as your overall topic sentence. I've introduced my first quote. Some people do not understand how masks can block germs. And we have that there. I comment on it. People are not understanding this purpose might make them reluctant to wear masks. And I say, additionally, many people, doesn't need to be capital there. Many people don't understand that masks are not just to protect yourself. And we have a quote demonstrating that. I'm going to put my little parentheses here to remind me I need to put that source in there. And then the commentary there. Okay, so there's a body paragraph. Now you do the same thing. I'm not going to go through all it now because that would be kind of long and redundant. Do the same thing for this paragraph, right? Which will be about how to wear them, right? Let's just go ahead and put that topic sentence into. Maybe secondly, many people do not understand the proper way to wear masks. Okay, and then you would go through and do the rest of that for that paragraph. I'll go and do the topic sentence for the last one. And the last one's about limitations, right? So maybe for that paragraph, we might say, lastly, many people do not understand the limitations of masks, okay? And then we do the same thing to that there, okay? Okay. Now, the other thing that needs to happen, because you must have these in your paper, I'm going to ask you to do in the outline, is you need to put a parenthetical reference after each quote, okay? So let's go back to my red quotes. They are both from this source, right? Because we have them organized under the source from where we got them. So I'm going to highlight the first thing that appears in that MLA works cited. We copy it, go back here, and I just put that in parentheses after the quote. Now, we already know that the other quote for this paragraph came from the same source. So I can just hold down the clipboard and paste that in too. And now we have our parenthetical references. So they're called parenthetical references because it's a reference to a source from where you got the information in parentheses, parenthetical reference. So you need to do that for each of these quotes too. Okay, so your yellow quotes came from this source. So you copy your guide to masks and put that in parentheses after those quotes. If it came from here, then we would have this quote. Now, if there's an author listed in your works cited, then you list the author's name. Whatever item comes first in that works cited entry that you hopefully made, that's what goes in parentheses right after every quote you use. And then when you go to put your paper together, you'll have those parenthetical references already done. Okay, so the only thing remaining after you finish all that is to restate the thesis and have a closing device. I'm holding off on the opening and closing devices, but if we're just restating our thesis, let's just take that, copy it, paste it in down here. We restate our overall points here. But when you restate it, it's good to start with something like, from the evidence shown above, lowercase p, it is obvious, right, that People misunderstanding mask usage is a huge problem. Okay, and that way we're just reminding our reader what we've done. Okay, and then all we have left is that closing device, an opening device. I'm going to do one more outline, or excuse me, one more video to cover that. Okay, stay in touch with me to ask questions. Hopefully you watch this whole video, and if you just kind of follow my modeling, you should be able to get this done by Wednesday night. All right, see you soon.